So if you're joining us today for the Sustainability COP, Community Practice for BHSSA, Phase 4 Sustainability Grantees, you were in the right place. This is our February session. And in case you're wondering, or maybe you're joining as a team member and this is your first time, we just want to let you know who's in the room, who is a part of this community, who can we lean on. And so if you focus in on that category 3 paragraph right there, you'll see all of the wonderful county grantees who are part of this space, as well as others. We encourage you all to connect because you will see each other and work with each other, not just in small groups here, but also again in other spaces. To ground us, we always like to start off with some meaningful words, and so this comes from Coretta Scott King. The greatest of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. This resonates in our participation, engagement with each other, whether it's individual reflections shared or in pairs or quads or as a large community. Your compassion, again, impacts each other. With that, I want to share that where we go today should look pretty familiar. We've heard what it is you need, what it is you like, and where we need to go with this community of practice. And so this should reflect a lot of those wishes and values. Aside from reconnecting and just easing into the day, we're going to go ahead and review some of the, not just the resources, but principles and things that we have covered in the past to bring us and catch us up to today. And most of our time will be spent with this peer exchange huddle. And if you hadn't participated in the last session, that's okay. You're going to be able to be a part of this dynamic session that allows us to hear from guest speakers today, who I will introduce shortly. But you'll get to hear from them, share what it is they're going through. You'll be able to ask questions of them. And again, reflect and share with each other solution and resource from each other. Then we'll talk about what happens next, what's available to you in the next sessions, as well as office hours. And then we close the formal session at about 11:30, but we invite you to stay with us for the optional peer coaching. You're going to have more intimate time with our TCT, Stephanie and Miriam, to ask those questions, to thought partner, to raise your own dilemmas, right? As well as we are very lucky too to have two of our CBH partners, Sarah and Christina, join us for that last half hour too. And I see them waving. Thank you so much, Sarah Weber and Christina Valadez. Think of what questions. Is there something that you have been thinking about regarding sustainability and that you want to hear directly from CBH? Please stick around in that last half hour to spend some time in discussion. Our journey, what I will highlight in, because I know you've seen this, and thank you. I see your chats. Thank you so much, Scott. And we all know, take care of what you all need to take care of. That is the work, and we'll take you as we can. What's coming up for the next couple of months, what I'm going to highlight is we don't have a March session. Our next session is in April. So I'm going to encourage you to think about what you need, attend the peer coaching, attend office hours if at all possible, join the TCTs at those office hours because there is quite a bit of time before the next session. And of course, we have dates for the rest of the year as well. What I will share here, you've seen this, and if you haven't, I'm just going to bring you up to speed that we are on session 3, which is today, where we pivoted and where we've heard you. You've voiced and said, let's look at real life dilemmas. What helps is hearing from each other, connecting with each other. And so in the spirit of these, we are guided by these session topics. They are addressed in our dilemma protocol and our discussions of, what to do with our partnerships, but also addressed again in all of the sessions from office hours to the resources that are being created. So we want you to know we're still honoring these, but we're also pivoting where we as a community need to go. But today we are here and we'll talk a little bit more. You'll hear more about partnerships today. From here, I'm going to let one of our partners, let Stephanie, take us away and actually bring us back to program sustainability strategies.
Hello, good morning. Thank you, Tina, for transitioning over. And thank you, everybody, for being here. My name is Stephanie Ramirez. I am your TCT coordinator for sustainability, and I'm so excited to be here with you all today. We just wanted to do a very quick recap for those that maybe have not or that missed the BHSSA statewide collaboration meeting that happened on December 3rd. Miriam and I, from Imperial County, presented a little bit on our BHSSA program. And so we spoke about what elements were successful for Imperial County in sustaining our program or starting our sustainability journey with Imperial County. And so we wanted to share some of the 5 Ps we call, but it is the five elements to sustainability, because we do know that funding and something that we've discussed here, we've pivoted from our understanding of sustainability, that it's not just about funding, it's not just about money, but it requires different elements for sustainability. And something that we want to encourage you all to explore, reflect on in your own programs, on what is going on with your program and what are some strengths and some areas that maybe need to be strengthened, that we can maybe collaborate together as thought partners, as just community together to really explore with each other possibilities and solutions. And so one of the things that we spoke on was people. So building staff capacity through training. And so we understand that there's a lot of funding shifting that's going on. Not all funding is reliable or it's long-term. So one of the things that we value in Imperial County is the expertise, what services our people are providing, and the people that we hire for BHSSA to provide school-based mental health services, the value that they bring to our community and our students. And so one of the strategies that we spoke on was training staff so expertise stays. So what is the one thing that you would want your students, your community to gain from the staff that you currently have right now? And even when roles shift or funding shifts or anything that happens, we want to still continue to build capacity within your team that allows the continuity of services, that reduces also staff burnout, because we know that in mental health and the services that we provide working with youth, we know that people are complex, right? We're not just black and white. There's a lot of gray area when working with people, and we're always evolving with the needs to meet the needs of our community, to meet the needs of our youth. We don't want to overburden ourselves either. And so we want to build partnerships and build on those relationships with each other to reduce that staff burnout and increase awareness and confidence of program practices. So that is people. Diversify funding, for long-term sustainability, we should always consider the blending and braiding of multiple funding sources, including district, county, state, federal, or philanthropic funds, rather than just depending on single funding streams. And that is something, of course, this is like the main chunk of when we think of sustainability, we're naturally drawn to this. But even just to discuss strategies or what is out there, we understand that within our counties in the entire state of California, resources vary depending by county and what is close to us and what is available. And so this is also something that we consider. It's not an easy, clear cut either, but we work with this. Partnerships, if there needs to be a formalization of memorandums of understanding to build on those partnerships, to endure those transitions, really to clarify our staff roles and intentions and who's going to do what, having those difficult but much needed conversations that is written maybe or recorded to reference in future discussions is something that also we found that was essential to sustainability. Codify practices into policy. So this is formally collecting, organizing, and documenting existing practices. So any rules or put into official standards using the systemic code or writing guidelines that are formally adopted and binding. So we do, if there's a service that you are providing, that your program is providing, because it is valuable. We're not discounting that there's no value in it. It is valuable. How is it making a difference? Why should systems start adopting it? And why should we build it into policy? And so having those conversations, or maybe exploring if there needs to be those conversations with decision makers within your county. And proof, of course. We know putting together the head, connecting the head and the heart together. We want to have information ready to share with our partners, having like our elevator pitch, right, on why we're making a difference, why we're making an impact, why it should matter for others on what the work that we are doing as BHSSA grantees. And this creates a shift in culture, creates more awareness on the mental health, normalizes help-seeking behaviors and the services that we are providing. And it's creating systems for data collection. And we know that a lot of us, especially in any form of work that we do, we are data driven. So we do need to justify the work that we are doing and showing that receipt of the outcome of what we are providing, because that's putting on paper our value, right? Not that we need that, but I mean, financially, when we work with programs, we need to put something on paper, and so other people can see and also have that buy-in. So data, the proof, very important. I just wanted to breeze through this really quickly, just in case if there's any questions on this, because we do want to continue further discussions on this. And I hope all of you are doing your own reflections on the 5 Ps, and maybe this is bringing something up within your county, your program. And if you want to dig a little further or deeper, we have the BHSSA Grantee Hub, that our peer perspectives tool with these 5 Ps reflection has been posted on the BHSSA Grantee Hub. So you could look at that there. And there is a link in the chat. Thank you, Tina. So if you want to open that to help guide you or just to review, we did create it very general. So hopefully it is adaptable. It is something that you can all read and maybe feel that you could connect to within your own programs. And if you have any further questions, if you would like a individual TA, a coaching, a thought partner, please reach out to Miriam or myself. We're more than happy to do that. And we could also even discuss a dilemma. If you have a dilemma or an area that you want to focus on, we could bring it up here in the community of practice and work on it together through the community. We are all in this together, and you are not alone. So I really wanted to throw that out there. And with that, we want to transition with Miriam.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much. You're going to see that we have decided to ground ourselves in the 5 Ps of sustainability. Like Stephanie said so eloquently, that sustainability really often comes to mind, the funding aspects, but it's so much more, right? So much more that we can strengthen, but there's a whole lot happening already that you're already nurturing. And so we have about 5 minutes. We've been, for this aspect, for our community connector, we try to do a connector at every COP. We've been talking for the first 15 minutes, and this slide really, this is an opportunity to hear your voices, preferably to unmute, okay? So like Stephanie said, yes, we've been guided. We're guiding ourselves within the principles of the 5 P. People, increasing our staff capacity, practices and programs, strengthening our partnerships, really looking at codifying our practices into policy, and of course the proof. But this community connector is all about what you're doing already. What areas or which of the 5 Ps are you currently nurturing? What are you working on? What are you focusing on? What are you already nurturing? That's what we want to hear from you in the next 5 minutes. So who would like to begin? Which of the 5 Ps are you and your teams and your counties and your programs already nurturing? Is it the people? Is it the practices and programs? Is it your partnerships, your policy, your proof? What's going well? What's going well? What are you nurturing? Who'd like to begin first? We'd love to hear a few voices, preferably that you unmute yourselves. Who would like to share first?
I can speak for San Luis Obispo County. We have very strong partnerships with our school districts here at Behavioral Health, and we have we really value those, and we actually have those partnerships thanks to our MHSA and MHSSA grant funding. So that's a big kudos to that. But we are very grateful for those partnerships.
Mm-hmm. All people, partnerships, so far as what we're hearing, all really makes a huge impact for sustainable programs and services to students. Who would like to go next? What are you nurturing well right now?
I can go next.
Thank you.
Sorry, I should add. I'm from Yolo County Office of Education.
Wonderful.
For anyone who doesn't know, I would say right now, our primary focus would be on building staff capacity, as well as the data-driven advocacy. So we are really hoping to uplift this work as a way to really collect the data that we already know we're seeing, specifically on our community, right? To uplift a lot of this work and work on those sustainability pieces, whether that's through advocacy or funding sources or trainings, right? And building the capacity of staff across our county. Because as you know, there's always a lot of movement going through. I myself came from one of our LEAs, and I'm still a resource to them, but obviously sometimes losing a couple of people who are still nearby creates a big gap, or almost like a black hole, right? And not having that historical knowledge can be challenging or create new challenges. So really, how can we help our LEAs be able to sustain that, even if they do have staffing shifts or changes or I guess positions that are hard to fill, right? So that's a lot of our focus.
Yeah, these are huge components, and they're broad and they're complex, and they're everything that I'm hearing is incredibly strategic. Thank you for lifting this conversation. Who appreciate everyone's sharing. We'd love to hear from a few others. What are you nurturing? What are you working on? What are you focusing on right now within the 5 Ps? Jolene.
I'll add for Nevada County, another area of focus is data. So something that we have done is create a services evaluation form that's sent out across the county. And so we were able to gather data from a lot of the recipients and then summarize that and have that ready to go to our partners as we're trying to aim for those MOU purchases, having those data ready to share about our impact.
Beautiful. Well said. One more. Thanks, Jolie. One more before we move on. One more. Unmute yourself.
I can share from Trinity. We're really focusing on people. We are a vast county. We're very dispersed. So losing people, it means losing critical services to our communities. So really investing in people and really ensuring that they feel supported to carry on this work. As you mentioned, mental health work is very difficult, especially with dealing with high needs populations like we do here in Trinity. So definitely offering all these supports, just showing up for staff. That's what we're focusing on, investing in our people.
Wow, amazing. Stephen, I'm wondering if you can display everyone. There you go. So raise your hand if you heard something that you can relate with. Did you hear Yeah. Raise your hand if you heard something that you can relate with. Raise your hand now if you learned something like, oh, that is so true. That deserves attention here as well. Raise your hand if yes. Some new learnings or some not new learnings per se, but like something stood out that, wow, I know that, and I value that, and that really needs to be strengthened. So that's the point of this, is that there's so much that we can strengthen and do more of, but there's so much already that's being nurtured. And this community, the purpose, the grounding foundation for a community of practice is to strengthen all of us through our shared knowledge and expertise. So thank you so much. More along this, I'm going to turn it over to Tina, and more along this train of thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam, and thank you all for sharing. But with that, we want to thank you all for joining us today. We want to thank our presenters from El Dorado, Leslie, as well as from Nevada County. Thank you so much for the entire team. Megan, Jolene, Blair. Who else am I missing? I'm so sorry. I'm moving quickly. If I've forgotten you, please know. Thank you so much. We want to make sure that we thank you. And again, we'll see you next time.